Movie Surfers takes you behind the scenes of the latest Marvel Studios movie, Avengers: Infinity War. Here we go.
Hey, man.
I'm here with your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man himself, Tom Holland.
Who are you? We're the Avengers, man.
The Avengers, Earth's mightiest heroes.
What's it like being an Avenger?
It's kind of surreal because there's so many of us now. I'm Peter, by the way.
Doctor Strange.
Oh, you're using a made-up names. I'm Spider-Man, then. Our first day on set, everyone was there in their superhero costumes, and I have to wear this motion capture suit, so I didn't look very heroic, and everyone looked really cool. This is crazy. We get to see a new side to Peter Parker. A new suit. It's awesome. And got some new gadgets coming in.
Thank you so much for joining us. You guys can check out Spider-Man in action when Marvel Studios Avengers: Infinity War hits theaters April 27th. Rated PG-13.
Hey everybody, it's Charlie. So Disney Channel released a new preview. There's only janky quality versions of this. Like, unless you really watch the Disney Channel all the time, you're probably gonna miss it because they don't post them online. But it's actually a pretty good preview. So there's a bunch of new footage of him before they go into outer space, especially him saving Iron Man, so I'll break this down. But if you are finding me for the first time, it's the weekend, so there's a new round of that Infinity Gauntlet giveaway. All you have to do to enter that, just be a subscriber and leave an Avengers-related comment on the video. The footage itself is better than what Tom Holland says about it, so he just says like the general, oh, this is going to be cool, I'm going to have a new suit, some new gadgets. He's talking about his Iron Spider gadgets. We all know what's going on with that. I've actually seen more detailed pictures of the suit's functionality, but I do think that it's kind of spoilery, so I'm not going to include it in this video. If you've ever read a comic book with the Iron Spider costume, you know exactly what's going on, but I know a couple people still want like some surprises, so there are a couple pictures that I'm probably not going to include when I do videos. But we get a little bit more footage of him swinging around New York City before he goes to help Iron Man and Doctor Strange out at the Sanctum. You see him swinging with this piece of tech here. You have to imagine that the Black Order lands that ship above New York City to come for the Time Stone and just start wrecking everything. So Spider-Man swings in to help, but separately all the other Avengers have been inside the Sanctum and they walk out too. Probably the coolest part of this, though, is that you see Spider-Man using his webbing to swing part of a car that has been chopped in half. Like you see this taxi cab, it's literally just the back of the taxi cab that he's swinging with his webbing and landed right on top of Cole Obsidian as he's getting ready to smash Iron Man with his hammer. And if there was anybody that wasn't sure about how strong Spider-Man was after Captain America Civil War, he literally catches Cole Obsidian's hammer as he's swinging it, although I don't think this is a full-strength swing. But I do love the idea that Spider-Man saves Iron Man. Obviously, it comes before that moment where they go onto the ship and he gets the Iron Spider costume and he dubs him an Avenger. All right, kid, you're an Avenger now. The quality's kind of janky, but you can kind of see part of Iron Man's new bleeding edge armor sticking out the back. He has those special wings, and we've seen a couple other trailer shots of him flying around with all this debris. You get a really funny shot of them on that Q ship with the Guardians of the Galaxy, so Spider-Man meets Star-Lord, but he has him in this kind of like faux headlock, like, who the hell are you? We're the Avengers, man. And then you get the Thor clip where he says Earth's mightiest heroes. So obviously that's a different scene. What I think is happening here is that in the timeline of the movie, the Guardians meet Thor first in space. Then Thor tells them about Thanos. Star-Lord and half of them split off and go to Earth. Thor probably takes off with Rocket and Teenage Groot to the Space Forge to make his new weapon. So when Star-Lord is meeting Spider-Man here, it's after he's met Thor and Thor told him to go back to Earth. So there's not all the Guardians here. But you get a much better shot of the Collector's Workshop, which I'm guessing is still on nowhere, because there was a scene that I posted a while ago where Thanos is coming for the Reality Stone, and he asks the Collector, where is it? Like he has his foot on his chest here. The Guardians are sneaking in, but you don't see any of the other Avengers, and it seems like they don't all meet back up again until they get back on Titan, so I'll talk about that in a second. But the thing about the Collector's Workshop here is this is obviously just the sound stages, like a behind the scenes. The footage we've seen of it is basically in ruin. You see like Gamora looking like she's getting ready to cry. It's either she's crying because Thanos has one of the other gems or because she's just upset about all the destruction. But this funny shot of Loki busking behind scene just dancing around is obviously still on the Asgardian ship. Like some of these backgrounds you can kind of distinguish which ship they're on. Like this is on the Q ship when he's with Spider-Man. This is on the Asgardian ship when you're with Loki. Thor's on the Guardian ship. We've seen a whole bunch of footage of that. If you didn't remember too, Tom Holland also talks about their first day on set and how he felt like a total douche because he was in a mocap suit and everybody else was in like a really cool superhero costume. Iron Man's like, hey, welcome to the club, kid, because he walks around in a mocap suit for a lot of his scenes too. But you remember almost a year and a half ago, they released a preview video from day one of Infinity War. Like they literally had just rolled cameras on the first day and released a special preview like, hey, this is what's coming. It's going to be really awesome. But it was mostly behind the scenes and you just saw a little bit of green screen. Now we know that this was the Titan set because we got all the footage. But the funny thing is that like this big battle that we've been seeing, them fighting Thanos, most of it's been in the trailers, is that that's like the very first thing that they shot.
This is our first day. Here we are in Pinewood in Atlanta, and it's actually pretty unbelievable.
Day one of what promises to be a year of fun-filled lensing.
I remember actually going to see the first Avengers with one of my best mates.
And I think the reason why they did that is one, because they wanted to include some trailer footage of that, and it was going to take a long time to do the special effects, so they needed to start extra early. So like a lot of times James Gunn says that when he's planning his movies out, he tries to think about what the trailer for the movie is actually going to look like. So as a director, it helps you structure some of the way that you shoot things. And so obviously Infinity War has been in planning for so long now that they're like, okay, well, obviously we got to have a battle with Thanos in the trailer, so we're going to have to start shooting that real early. So why don't we just do that first? Because there's not a lot of dialogue. Usually it's easier to do scenes like that where you don't have to write pages and pages of big long speeches. It's like Tom Holland joked that they never told him who he was fighting when they were on this set. They're just like, you're fighting this big guy here. You're swinging around. Like you can see him pulling on these strings. Those are like reference points for his webbing. So it's fun to watch them actually make this. You get a sense for what it's like day to day on screen. Sometimes when they're doing stuff like this, it's totally crazy and it doesn't make any sense. Other times it's like these funny moments where Thor is meeting the Guardians and trying to win them over, and it's a more traditional scene where it's just like them talking to each other. But you get one more last big shot of him in his Iron Spider costume, and it looks like he's still inside the Q ship. So this looks like pretty early in the film. So obviously this is all cut out of order. But just let me know in the comments, what's your favorite part about this? And what do you think happens when the Guardians first come back and meet Spider-Man, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, and the other Earth-based Avengers? Because what it sounds like happens is that everybody sort of cross paths briefly, then they go their separate ways, then they all meet back up either in Wakanda or on Titan, and then you have the end of the movie where they start to converge again before Avengers 4. The directors have been doing more interviews. They've talked a little bit about Avengers 4 in thematically, how it fits in with all these other Marvel movies. They say it's like the culmination of an arc that started during Winter Soldier. I was gonna do a video about that before all this footage dropped, so I might do that tomorrow, but I'm expecting more of this stuff to just kind of drop throughout. So if you have any special requests while I'm doing videos like this, just let me know in the comments below. I have gotten a lot more requests to do videos for the Black Order. What will probably happen as we get closer, we'll start to see little bits of them more and more in the TV spots and trailers that they drop. What I'll probably do for like really special characters like Hawkeye, Ant-Man and the Wasp, or like, people that we're still wondering about in the movie, is I'll just wait for like a really good piece of footage for them to talk about them. Because like Ant-Man is a good example. They released a promo on the Japanese Twitter account for Avengers with his costume that said it was used during Infinity War. So it's like, wait a minute, if they used Ant-Man's costume during Infinity War, does that mean that he's in Infinity War? There's just like a number of little things that sort of like give you an idea for what's going on in the background. But like Hawkeye, definitely a background character on a mission, probably has something to do with Nick Fury. So don't worry, we'll talk about Hawkeye and all those missing characters soon. There's a funny new Deadpool video that I want to post. There's some new Flash, so I'll try to figure out what's going to happen next. I'll post updates on my Twitter account. You can follow me on Twitter. I'll post the link in that top pinned comment. But congratulations to the latest giveaway winner, Adam Ziller. Please private message me on the back end of my channel so I can get your contact details. Click here for that Secret Wars video and click here for the Deadpool trailer. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.